HarperCollins presents Three Kings, a Wild Cards Mosaic novel, by George R. Martin and the Wild Cards Consortium, edited by Melinda M. Snodgrass, assisted by George R. Martin, and written by Marianne Mohanraj, Peter Newman, Padar Ogilin, Melinda M. Snodgrass, and Caroline Spector. Read by Peter Noble. Saturday, February 29th. Fascinating. It should have been impossible to ambush Bibe, goddess of war. Every crow in Belfast lent her their senses. She soared over a bleeding city, from one pocket of violence to the next, from the women shaving the head of a weeping collaborator to the screams of a man shot through the back of the knees. The city had half the population it should have had. Its buildings crumbled, paint flaking away, except from slogans that every day were refreshed. Not an inch, Brits out, no Nats here. She had caused it all, manipulating the angry, creating heroes, and renewing herself through their sacrifice. But she hadn't expected this. 3 teenaged boys with hurley sticks caught her in an alleyway. "Hand it over," cried the nearest, his voice breaking mid-sentence. He had blonde hair and a shamrock tattoo that might get him killed only 3 streets from here. Behind him a second boy, darker this time, pushed forward. "Yeah," he cried, "we want all of it." Despite the braggadocio, this was their first robbery. Bibe could tell such things. Their knuckles were white on the wood of the hurls. Their Adam's apples bobbed and bobbed. "Let me get my purse." She really didn't have time for this. Something was very wrong. She left her body flicking from crow to crow, finding nearby streets to be far too quiet. No bombs went off. No snatch squads screeched out of police stations. "Smash her, Paddy," the second boy said as she returned to her body. "She's delaying. It's on purpose." "I have it here," Bibe said, allowing a quiver of fear into her voice to make them feel more manly. "Please, don't hurt me." She knew what they were seeing. An old, old woman, which she was, with aching joints to slow her movements and additional indignities they couldn't imagine. Constant bleeding from cracks in her skin that only a layer of sopping bandages hid from view. "Hit her, Paddy!" But Paddy probably had a granny of his own at home, and a conscience too. "No," he said, and licked his lips. "Not if she hands over the pension money. An Irishman keeps his word." Bibe's arthritic fingers got the purse open as the 3 boys crowded closer. Inside was a razor blade. With shaking hands, she drew it across Paddy's throat. While he stared amazed, still on his feet, she hobbled forward 2 more steps and got the second boy too. Bibe's hips stabbed at her as she turned. She would need to regenerate very soon, or old age would leave her incapable of any movement at all. By now the third boy was turning to flee, but she had a crow waiting. It swooped down from a nearby building, a missile of beak and black feathers aimed straight at the teenager's eyes. And that's when it happened. A pain such as the goddess had not felt in the longest time. A wrongness that jerked her out of her body and flung her awareness across the city, to Sandy Row. Disoriented, she tried to understand what had brought her here. It had begun to drizzle. Boys and girls stood by the gable end of a house where patriotic hands had painted Queen Margaret on the day of her coronation. Bibe watched the children from the eyes of one crow, and then another, until suddenly the gang sprang forward as one. A boy and a girl carried a net between them, she in sneakers, he in boots, the laces dangerously trailing.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?